So today I'm going to be checking out the new Motorola G55, and after checking out the G35, G75 and G85, I thought it'd only be right that I check out this next Motorola phone. So let's get into it. Okay, so here is the Motorola G55 in the usual plastic-free packaging from Motorola. A few specs on the back: Full HD Plus 120Hz display, Dolby Atmos support for the speakers, 50 megapixel main camera with optical image stabilization, and a 5000 mAh battery with turbo power charging, which is rated at 30 watts. Now I can't actually remember the configuration I bought, and they've stuck a stupid sticker over it so I can't see. I'm pretty sure it's 8 gigs 256 smoky green. I think I can just about make that out, but we will find out. So let's just cut the seal, and then on top you get your G55 pre-clad in a protective case. We'll leave that aside for a second, and then you just get a charging cable. So not the most exciting unboxing from Motorola. Let's just pop the case off, and then we can take off this protector bit as well. So there is the Motorola G55. Let's just power on. And then you've got your power button with integrated fingerprint scanner on the right with your volume buttons. Left is your SIM tray. The top is a microphone, and the bottom, headphone jack, USB-C charging port, another microphone, and a speaker grill as well. So it's a 6.5-inch 1080p IPS LCD display, 120Hz refresh rate, 16 megapixel punch hole selfie camera, a little bit of a chin on the bottom, and then you get a 50 megapixel main camera and an 8 megapixel ultra wide. So size comparison with the Motorola G35, it is a little bit smaller because that has a 6.7-inch display. Very, very similar design. I've got it in the smoky green, which is like the vegan leather, and that is very similar to the green color on the G75. And then I think size-wise, it's more on par with the G85. But they're all very similar in terms of their size and their design. So I'm just going to go through the bits and bobs, the setup process, and then I'll come back and we'll just have a quick look through the OS, quick test of the camera, and then I'll drop a full review at a later date. Okay, so this is the Motorola G55 out of the box, and this is just going to be a very quick look at this phone just to see how it comes out of the box, how it feels, and then just go through a couple of bits and bobs that are on the phone, and then just a quick camera sample test, and that's about it ahead of my full review. So out of the box you get an apps drawer and very little. All your Google apps tucked away in this little folder up here, which is quite nice. Oops. And then all your Moto apps are tucked away in this folder here. Of course, you can take apps out of those folders and add more in. But as you can see, there is a plethora of games and other crap loaded onto the phone, which is unfortunate, as Motorola were never usually one of those ones that used to install all that on there. But of course, you can just uninstall them should you not want them on there, and I certainly don't. We're jumping into the settings menu. It is a pretty familiar look as what you'd find on all of these other Motorolas that I've done unboxings of. Be sure to check those out if you're interested in those. But you just get the usual bits. Let's jump into personalization, where you can personalize your themes, wallpapers. You can change your font. I think it's that one I normally pick, or it might be that one. One of them. And then of course you can change your icon shapes as well. And then colors, etc., layouts. You can switch between dark mode, etc. So the layout I generally tend to do, is it 5x5? I believe it tends to, you can fit more on your home screen and that sort of stuff. Of course, it's just gonna change that all about, and then I can tweak it to how I want on my home screen. And then of course you can go into home and lock screen, and you can change your home screen settings by changing the size of your fonts, etc. But of course you can get to that in that other section as well. And then there's a few lock screen settings that you can do as well. You can wake the screen up every time a notification comes through, or you can switch that off. And then you've just got sound and vibrations, gestures. So you've got the usual gestures on this Motorola phone, so you can do that quickly just to open the camera. And then you've got, I'm guessing a lot of people's favorite is the karate chop to turn on the torch, which is a great quick way to get your torch on rather than having to mess around finding it on here. So there's a few bits installing in the background, which is to be expected. And then if I just quickly go down to, no, it was still on gestures. Hang on a minute, about phone. So we're on G55, so we've got 8 gigs of RAM and 4 gigs of RAM boost using some of the storage. A few specs on the camera, 1080p display, 256 gigs of storage as well. So you get plenty of storage on this phone, and it's running a MediaTek Dimensity 7025 processor built on a 6nm fabrication. Personally, it's not one that I'm particularly familiar with, but so far, just doing the basics, it seems to be pretty reliable, opening your bits and bobs. Doesn't seem to be any stutters or anything like that. And of course, you can get to customization options by just pressing and holding on your home screen, and then you can go on to personalize and it will take you there. And you can also get there from your Motorola Experiences app. If I get started, yada, 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 personalize, and then you can get to it that way as well. So there's a few ways that you can get to your customization options on this phone. And then if I just quickly jump into the camera, and we'll take a picture of that there pot. We'll do the ultra wide, and then you also get a 2x crop as well. And they are to be expected from a budget phone. Of course, the lighting in here isn't the best. I will obviously add more photos in my full review. And then if I just jump into the selfie camera, quality from that is to be expected. Oh, let me just do a quick portrait shot. So yeah, it's about to be expected as what you'd find on a budget phone. And then of course you can jump into video as well. And it tops out at 1080p at 60 FPS from this main camera. You can flip the frame rate just up there. And then it's 1080p at 30 FPS from that 16 megapixel selfie camera. And you do get a stabilization option there to switch on and off. And then there's just a couple more options. You get the night vision mode if you jump into more. There's a few other bits there, panorama, dual capture, time lapse, just the usual bits. And then of course there is a pro mode if you really want to tweak the settings of your photos. But overall, the handling of the G55 is actually really nice. It's a nice compact phone in comparison to some of these other larger ones, 6.5 inches. It just feels a lot smaller for those that don't want huge phones. Compare it to that one. This one feels wider as well, this G75, yeah. So overall, the footprint of the G55 is considerably smaller, and that's the one thing I noticed when I took it straight out of the box, is just how compact it feels in comparison to those. That vegan leather is really nice as well, and of course the question is of how it ages over time is going to be sort of lingering for a while until I get a chance to use it. But that's my quick look at the Motorola G55. Definitely get subscribed to see my full review on all of these phones that will be coming very soon. By the time you see this video, my G75 review video will be out, and then the other two will be available very soon. So I'll see you in the next one.